Representative Castro.
Thank you, Chairman. Undersecretary Helberg, you've described Pax Silica as turning, quote, diplomats into business development officers for American AI. And you personally negotiated the UAE's entry into the initiative in January of this year, and you keynoted India's accession just last week. The explicit purpose of this initiative is to help American AI companies sell their products and expand into allied markets. Is that a fair characterization?
The goal of the initiative is to secure our supply chains, Congressman.
And your federal ethics agreement acknowledges, and again I'm quoting, quote, heightened risk of a conflict of interest in artificial intelligence software. Your filed ethics forms confirm that you divested from directly owned stock in AI and semiconductor companies, but you will continue to indirectly own stakes in AI companies like OpenAI and SpaceX through equity stakes in the Founders Fund and Khosla Ventures. That stake was explicitly retained under your ethics agreement. It wasn't divested.
That's not correct, Congressman. I actually divested from OpenAI.
You still retain an interest in OpenAI and SpaceX through Founders Fund? You still have a stake in Founders Fund and Khosla LA? Or Khosla?
That's not correct, Congressman. I've divested all my interest from
both of those pieces, from Founders Fund and
I divested the interest in OpenAI. I divested most of the Founders Fund interests.
Does your spouse own stakes in those?
That's right. That's right. Well, we're talking about the same assets.
So your household, just like for members of Congress, we've got to disclose what we own and what our spouse owns.
Well, you guys aren't subject to nearly 108-page ethics agreements, respectively. But yes,
so in your household, your spouse owns what I've described.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But what I'm saying is that we've divested from those.
But I just asked you, and you said yes, your spouse still owns.
No. You
Founders
asked me.
Fund
I was saying that these are the assets of my spouse. They're not mine. They're
Right.
treated as one and the same for the purpose of ethics.
Right.
But what I'm saying is we have divested from our stake in OpenAI and most of the Founders Fund interests.
Yeah, I said that you directly divested from OpenAI, right? But through Founders Fund and SpaceX, through Founders Fund and Khosla Ventures, they still have stakes in those companies. Is that correct?
No, Congressman. What I'm saying is I no longer have any financial interest in OpenAI, direct or indirect, and that we have also divested from most of the interest in Founders Fund.
Okay, then if we'll go through. Yeah, no, absolutely. That we must have an old filing then. All right.
Probably, yeah.
So then let me ask you about mining. Illegal mining for critical minerals, gold, and other materials is recognized as a major and growing transnational criminal economy, frequently linked to money laundering, human trafficking, and violence. It also contributes to the significant arms trafficking in the region, some of which has been on display in Mexico after the recent killings of a drug kingpin. What specific steps are you taking at the State Department to leverage diplomatic engagement, foreign assistance, and law enforcement cooperation alongside commercial policy and other measures to more effectively disrupt illegal mining networks?
So our biggest priority, Congressman, is to advance our national interest, and our biggest the biggest pain point from an economic security standpoint is our mining reliance on China. And so we're working to de-risk those supply chains. We are working in tandem with countries who are home to large mining concessions, whether it's the Democratic Republic of Congo, Australia, along with various South American countries, in order to identify brownfield mining concessions, as well as the opportunity to expand refining capacity within the next 24 months through the deployment of capital to expand existing refineries.
Right, but I wanted to ask you specifically, what steps you're taking, what measures to more effectively disrupt illegal mining networks?
So my understanding is that a lot of the illegal activities are actually being conducted by Chinese-run companies in sub-Saharan Africa. And so the best thing that we could do to fight illegal mining networks is actually buy out China's stakes in those concessions in order to bring them under the oversight of American companies. As you know, American companies are subject to the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which is obviously leaps and bounds different than the lack of standards that Chinese companies operate by. So if American companies run the concessions, they will inherently be substantially more ethical and accountable than Chinese companies ever will.
I'm out of time.
Thank you, Representative Castro.